Hello and welcome to ZSR, where we have a Z2R Max Rando Tournament race between Patrick and traiLZ. This is Swiss 2, and on commentary we have Star and we take it from you two.
I was waiting for Star to jump in first. Hello, everyone. My name is Mirai, and I am joined by Star, who recently just got back from a delicious dinner. And I also had a delicious dinner as well. We have a delicious matchup tonight for both of you between traiLZ and Big Picket. I'm very excited. This is a good matchup. How are we doing tonight, Star?
Hey, Mirai in chat, doing well. A little full, but ready for a good race here at ourselves. traiLZ longtime runner, Patrick, a relatively newer runner, but who came out as the winner of the Nibiru Invitational last year, so he should be a good one.
I will add that this is a bit of a grudge match here, that Big Picket wanted this rematch from last year's standard tournament where he lost to traiLZ in one of those races. And so he's out for blood in this one. We'll have to see how this all plays out.
Yep, looks like we have ourselves a start with Raft, Flute, and Reflect already marked on the tracker, some nice early items.
Yeah, if they don't have 6 gems, I mean, if they do have 6 gems, having Reflect already is going to be nice to just be able to dip into P4, assuming it might have been blocked behind a spell item of some sort.
Mm-hmm. And while we wait to start, don't forget to give everyone a follow. Here we are. Reflect and Shield. Okay, they also start with Shield. That's 3 lives and 4 gems.
Looks kind of islandsy here, potentially. Islands, no boots.
It's a funky looking map is what it is, but I agree. Okay, yeah, that's 2 bridges. That's an islands map. I was like, is that a funky looking vanilla-like biome, or I think this is that's P2 here, right north of Start.
I'm gonna say it still has potential to be vanilla-like. We'll have to see more of it.
It could. It's because that's a pretty big chunk of land between Start and P2, which is more than you normally see on an islands map. And actually, that's the edge of the map. So that is not, in fact, that should be regular, straight vanilla-like, a stupid-looking one, but I think that's vanilla-like more than islands with that much land.
Yeah,
being to the corner.
Being enclosed by that mountain range there is definitely going to confirm us. Not even though we've got these bridges, these nice bridges, should still be able to get around this biome a lot easier than an islands biome without the boots.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of water for a vanilla-like biome, which is still rather annoying.
traiLZ finding a P bag here on the grass tile, and it happens to be 700 smackaroonies.
Yep.
Not immediately going for any attack levels there. I know traiLZ on the lower heart container starts. He does like to do a little bit of life leveling. I do agree. Sometimes I tend to feel the seed out myself and see where I want to go with it. But yeah, he's going to spread those levels evenly. We'll see if Big Picket follows suit.
Alright, they're immediately hard railroaded into taking a bridge, thanks to this map.
Yeah, they had 2 options. There were 2 bridges. I don't know if they both led to the same plot of land or not.
That's the point, actually. I'm not sure. I think traiLZ took the southern bridge, which got you to the southern side of Saria. I'm not quite sure if Patrick took the southern or northern bridges, because there are 2 right on top of each other. And it does look like, because we spy a little bit of mountains there on traiLZ's side, that the northern bridge might lead to a slightly different spot. That's an enormous swamp, by the way. Jeez.
That's a dig swamp right there. That's the old school swamp.
Northern end of Saria is an island, basically. Fun. Technically a peninsula, I think, but it's got a mountain range on one side and a bridge on the other, and then surrounded by water. You're getting nowhere off that bridge, unfortunately, so... Southern bridge into a huge swamp it is.
Yeah, traiLZ with the slight lead there on overworld discovery and exploration, just because he picked that lower bridge, that upper one not leading anywhere important. And Big Picket will be in his grass tile here in a moment with her 700-point P-bag. Wow, there is the east as well.
Cave to the east, in the southwest. In the southeast, sorry.
No item caves yet, so...
No, they're this is a pretty typical vanilla-like biome where it's very segmented.
Yeah,
a little bit more water than the usual, but you're getting bottlenecked by pass-through caves. You've got bridges. It's a bit of a mess, as we see Palace 1 there in the southeast as well.
Yeah, I think when it comes to vanilla-like for the randomizer, when it tries to fill in the continents, it does try to kind of mimic the look and feel of something like the standard vanilla, where there's multiple segmented areas, and you tend to see those mountain ranges that run through the middle of these vanilla-like continents that aren't caldera-like, but are just more or less continent separators.
Yeah, vanilla-like biome is basically more or less what we saw in the 3.0 and older of Randomizer. It's got a mix of everything. Unfortunately, It's got a mix of everything. You also see a couple of very narrow mountain passes, which is characteristic as well of a vanilla-like biome. That east, by the way, looks islands-like as well. Either islands or also yet another watery vanilla-like biome, it seems. And here's P1. Patrick's side.
Waiting to see what is in Medicine Cave here on traiLZ's side. The shield spell is helping here in this early game 3 heart container start for sure.
Yeah, Patrick, you don't need Bagu. We've seen both sides of Saria, and it's not helpful today. As far as pass-throughs or anything goes, they even start with a spell from it, so they're really fine there. 150 point XP there of Dyra for traiLZ, and that's medicine. Alright. Oh, hey, thanks for the info, VXR. Apparently this gen'd immediately. Good to know.
Yeah, it was absolutely instantaneous.
Because for those who don't know, sometimes if the seed's particularly trolly, or the randomizer gets a little bit stuck trying to actually generate a map. And I've seen seeds take as long as like a minute or so to generate. It is part of me when he joke about how long a seed takes to take but sometimes it really does just end up being messy. It looks like traiLZ should be in the northeastern part of the map now, though it's always a little hard to tell how far up and down a map goes. That is a lot of swamp.
Yeah, seeing Jump Cave there, I don't think we saw the back side of it, so it'd be interesting if Jump Cave actually led to a small little area that was required. Oh no, Big Picket.
Ooh, taking a death right before getting the medicine there, it looks like. Honestly, it's probably I've seen seeds take longer than a minute, Clem. I'm just estimating. It's not like a time beast second by second. P-bag, alright. So, P-bag number 2 of the last and our third item total out of 6.
These may be heart containers that have been removed from the seed. We will we'll have to just keep an eye out to see how many locations we uncover and how many heart containers we do or don't find.
Alright, that is the northern edge of the map for traiLZ. Good to know. Because with Map Randomizer, at least it's always helpful to know roughly where the edge of the map is, so you don't actually end up missing an area completely. But spotting actual borders over the map can be a little tricky sometimes. Especially in islands biomes. More than once we've seen numerous races where a runner just completely misses an island that's just in the most random corner of the map. They just don't have a good reason to walk all the way over to, or you don't realize the map goes all the way out there and that has something important on it. Boots!
Indeed.
You know? That's quite good, because it looks like the northwestern corner here for Patrick is boots locked.
Yeah, there's also like a 1-tile wide waterway, I believe, that connects the north and the south, so it might be a little bit of a shortcut there.
And yep, Clem, those random 1-tile wide water paths that blow open the seed. Pretty moderately common in mountainous biomes and absolute trolls, as we see. Router has fairy in it. That's a really good find. And we also see our last palace here, just nearby.
We'll have to see how much this costs to cast. This is going to be our entry point into palaces, I imagine.
Good update here from Patrick. to get his lives back before he heads north. And I unfortunately did not catch the hint here in Mario for trails. Apparently I was thinking about Helmet Head.
Yeah, I totally missed that as well.
And oh hey, okay, that's a really bright shade. That's a... P1 and this 3 or 6 are very close in color here.
Trail's trying to grind out this last little bit of this level here.
Yep. Mito also over here in this general bit of the map.
Fairy now castable at 58. I don't know if it was that expensive before.
I'm not sure either. Okay, another item. And Patrick ended up taking a pass-through cave to get up to the northeastern bit of the map. He didn't have to. You could have taken a valley, one of those long and narrow mountain passes to get here, but either works. And they're actually in the same cave at the same time, so hey, what do you know?
And both picking up 700-point P-bags at the same time.
Yeah, the seats being not really generous with experience today. Here's the child. So that is our 5th item on the west. We just have 1 item cave left, and we've seen all of our palaces and towns. Of course that 1 item cave is going to be in the northwestern corner because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think we're still looking for Trophy Cave, is that it?
I think, yeah, I don't think we've seen Trophy Cave. Looks like we have unsafe road encounters on trails aside. And here's 3 and 6. This 3 or 6 and Palace 1 are the exact same shade of pink for both runners. Different brick patterns, but the same color, which is going to be fun for telling those two apart later. Here's Mito. We've got thunder in it, so good thing they found that medicine.
Yeah, unfortunately, Big Pika did take that Death and Medicine cave and did not get that medicine.
Yeah, he's going to have to go back for that.
And Trails walks into it. He has the fairy spell. He's going to be getting downstab. He's going to be slightly inching ahead of Big Picket here.
That came over really not helping. That's a glove in P2 is what that was. That's a good thing to know for both runners.
Yeah, that pretty much sets him in go mode at that point. Just pinpoint 2. It's right here on the west, and with the fairy spell right there by start, and just get in there. They got thunder, they got fairy, everything's available in the west. Just knock out these 3 palaces, get over to the east, which is open and free right there in the cave, and hope that GP maybe isn't on Maze Island. Maybe it's just sitting on the east, and that'll be that.
Yeah,
37 minutes flat.
Yeah, if GP is on the east, they're in go mode. Or basically go mode, because we know because 2 is right by start, 1 is free, 3 or 6 shouldn't be too bad. They've already got a decent number of levels. 354 and 423 is pretty solid for 11 minutes.
Yeah, and if you're concerned about levels, going in for P6, even though it might be a bit of a dig, Barba's likely going to give you a chunk of change on the kill, and it's a very easy boss to fight at that. So, I don't know. There's an argument to be going into P6 if they find that it is P6 and not P3.
And it's 3. Never
well,
mind.
That settles that. Attack 3, leaving a little bit to be desired here.
Yep.
At least on those Doom Knockers.
Yeah. Alright, so Trill's gonna be the first of our 2 runners to start decking a palace. Patrick is looking through the overworld right now.
Well, we do have confirmation that Reflect is indeed fire, as Trails cast it to block the flying mace from the Doom Knocker, and now can cast fire.
Nice. Patrick picking up his boots, which is going to be good because we know that there is a lot of water on the east. Not 100% sure what biome it is because we only got a brief glimpse of it, but I suspect either another lousy, watery vanilla-like map, islands, or maybe a canyon. I'm not sure yet. We'll find out.
Yeah, just watching Trails.
forks, but never mind, because there's Rebo on 3. Just go down the elevator.
Yeah, I was going to say, just watching traiLZ dig through this palace, as Big Picket is yet to enter a palace at this point. That death in that game over is a perfect example of the way that you get set back in the early game. Someone takes the game over, the other person doesn't, and finds all the stuff and is in palaces sooner. And this could be right where, that could have been right where Big Picket is never going to be able to recover from this.
In a sea that looks this fast, it might not. Yeah, you really can't lose much time. Actually, this is the northwest corner for Patrick while I'm looking at it, so he didn't need to get boots. He just had to wander across the land. Just a bit of a dumb nap. traiLZ trying to get the triple dip on levels here, leaving Rebanek's room, trying to get this level before he places the gem. Gonna try to take out this blue iron knuckle. And 3 hearts is actually not that bad. We've seen 1 heart container seeds. 3 is complete garbage. traiLZ is trying to beat up this iron knuckle for that last bit of experience. He needs 84.
Yeah, I might just look into the room next door to see if there's something a little bit easier to take out, but
he's going for it. There we go. 200 is enough.
Oh, he's not even taking the level. He's simply bypassing it to get the next level.
Yeah, no, he wants attack 5. Patrick, you need to go get your medicine. Well, not need. We don't actually know if T-Bird's going to be hard required, and we won't know until they get to GP, but you don't want to leave it behind at this point. And it looks like he's going back.
Yeah, traiLZ with 1 gem placed now just after the 15-minute mark. Patrick yet to step into a palace. Also, he has fairy.
Yeah, he got fairy, but he needs to get his. But he wants that medicine right now, so where he's going. traiLZ is heading for 2.
Could be a bit of a trolly palace, but I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. It's not going to be like an easy 1 or something. 2 can sometimes throw you around in some loops, sometimes confuse you. Sometimes there might be some elevator shafts that are multiple directional networks. But yeah, it looks like we got a hard left at start for sure here.
Yeah, palace trolls are the norm. In Z2R, we do, after all, have quite an interesting room rando going. Immediate left, these are not. This is not a fun enemy set. The room is fine, the enemy set's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, these square wave heads in this room are tough. He's lucky he doesn't have the glove, or he's just easy to just kind of push through there with a wildly stabbing and not breaking through the floor below him. But having a glove in that room can be kind of dangerous as well. Any of those rooms where you got floating blocks above death.
And here's a key door, which is, but followed immediately by a key. At least there's that. Patrick did get back his medicine, so Thunder, and then also Palace Sticks for him. Yeah, get that key. We don't know where the end key is, and Fairy is not. Took out what looks to be about like 45 or so of magic on traiLZ's side there. Most of 3 bars at least.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it came down too much. It was 58 at Magic 4.
Yeah, so it's a little cheaper, but it doesn't make any appreciable difference on 4 magic jars. Also, this P2 is a very linear P2. You go in a straight line.
And these rooms are not too exciting.
Ands, or buts. No, these flying enemies are just annoying in these rooms. You can't really dodge when it's in that type of room, and you're just stuck with it. Down stamp for Patrick. Here's another fork. Oh boy. 2 options below. More options and more options.
As I was saying in the beginning, P2 could show you an elevator network of multi-directions.
I think there's like five different directions you can take from that elevator shaft that Trails just took the top right direction on. Ooh, that's a death. This is a tree, not a palace? Yeah. Start underground, work your way up from the trunk, and now this is where it all branches out. Trail's taking the up right direction. Up left, middle left, and I think down left and down right are the other options. I think going right in the middle is a dead end.
No, all of those were available.
Oh wait, okay, mixing up elevator rooms. So yeah, 6 different directions available. Trails picked one, we'll see if this is the correct one. It is... P2 is moderate in length, it's not one of the super long palaces, so the longer he goes in the direction, the shorter the other 6 paths are. The other 5 paths will be.
Patrick also doing the same thing Trails was doing, trying to grind out this final level here. This red iron up is going to be worth 200 for him, and that's going to give him his life level there. Oh, it's 150? Oh, wrong.
Yeah, he doesn't want to risk predicting what might be a 6 just yet. He's gonna go do the others first, and it turns out top right was the correct answer for Trails. Because here's a very fast helmet head.
Well, now it's time to dig back in and look for the glove.
Yes, it is. We've already seen what should be most of the palace there. In these flags, the boss is the end of the palace, so Trails now gets to decide which of the other 5 paths he wants to go first. Because there were 6 different paths off the elevator. Top right got you helmet head. The other 5 are all options for the glove. They shouldn't be too long. I think I've seen most of the rooms in this too by now. You had to go through like 7 or 8 or something just to get to that elevator shaft, and there were like 3 or 4 more between that and helmet head.
Yeah, with as many rooms as it takes to get to an elevator here, I don't know if I would have just walked backwards from Helmet Head's room. It seems like kind of a distance walk in either direction.
Because it's only a couple rooms from Helmet Head back to the main elevator shaft. It's like 6 or 7 or something from the entrance to that elevator shaft. Might not be counting correctly, but I think Helmet Head's closer to the elevator shaft than the entrance is. Bottom left for glove? That would be funny. Yeah, we'll have to see which one of the remaining 5 Trails takes first, and which one Patrick takes first. Could make for some interesting stuff. I also really like this shade of blue we have here on this palace.
Compared to the other bright colors we have, yes, I do prefer this. As both a runner and an audience member.
I also appreciate the black background, because the colorful ones can get really harsh on the eyes.
Yeah.
I know especially our old friend RCS loved to complain about a reddish background GP, because it's quite hard to see the fireballs against that.
Yeah, most bright colors, the fireballs tend to blend in pretty well. It's a big distraction visually.
Yeah, alright, bottom right is Trails' first choice forward for this glove. Patrick is also... Oh, and here's another fork.
That's a loop. That was a loop to the top of our tree elevator.
Oh, nice. Never mind. So, bottom right is a loop into top left, so that's 2 eliminated. He's going... that's a loop too!
All the way bottom left is Clem said.
I guess bottom left it is, because you get looped into everything else. I was like, there can't be that many rooms left in here, can there? No, there isn't. Yes, Clem, you're right. Bottom left is apparently the only way to get around. Patrick at least won't be spending too long. And here it is. Because Patrick's can also get looped around the palace and then because he's going to get his glove first here. Hopefully he'll go upright next and he'll be done with P2.
I'm sure traiLZ is headed over to P1 at this point.
It's funny you're seeing this many loops in P2. It's on the smaller palaces, so it's unusual to get a loop-de-loop P2, but we got a bit of a loopy too. Element Game decided to give us a bunch of elevator shafts in a very small palace, well... And yes, we're back to the pink. Both P1 and P3 are pretty bright shades of pink, especially on traiLZ's side. Patrick's colors are a little bit more muted. The difference isn't obvious in P2, the blue looks about the same, but these bright shades of pink really do look different. On the different sides.
Yeah, traiLZ on emulator, and Big Picket is on an FPGA Mister, which is a hardware, emulates the hardware, I guess you could consider that. And someone who's better, more knowledgeable in that area can talk about that more if they'd like.
Alright, traiLZ digging through here. Okay, I'm trying to remember where Patrick is in all the loops.
I think he's on route to the boss.
He might be at this point, yeah. I think he got looped back around the top of that main elevator shaft. Mr. is the equivalent to Never Drive. Okay, figures. It's a Never Drive is an N64 flash card. Basically. Alright, that's attack 5 for Patrick. This room is fun for traiLZ. That's hard to emulate, but it's basically the same as NES, just like, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a tiny little compact, multi-PCB, standalone piece of hardware that it can handle more than NES. It does multiple systems. So.
Gotcha. I'll learn something new. P3 is being a P3. Got a couple different paths. I think that was a loop on itself there for traiLZ. So he's going left here.
They should be P1, I believe.
P3, P1, but they're very similar shades of pink, and I got the two mixed up. Yeah, this P3 is being a little bit, so it's not a straightforward P3. I think there's seen one or two loops. The item here is a P bag that traiLZ is going to leave behind, because why would he pick it up? And okay, that was what looped on itself. I thought maybe no different rooms that look similar. So he's gonna head up right here. My sense of direction is wrecked, as you can tell. But it was very good to begin with.
Wow, duplicate rooms here.
The duplicate rooms are confusing my sense of direction. I think that loops. Yeah, that should be a loop on itself.
What a confusing P1. Unfortunately, Big Picket is still a gem behind, so traiLZ is not going to take much longer in here. I'm sure he's got the answer at this point in which direction he needs to go. It is just P1 after all. It's going to be the smallest palace, so yeah. He should find Horsehead very shortly and have his third gem placed. Hopefully Big Picket can find Rebanak or Horsehead himself as well, if he's probably headed into P1 perhaps, and try to close that gap.
Yeah, hopefully, but yeah, there's something... P1 and P2, two of the smallest palaces in the game being pretty loopy. It's hard for them to be very loopy because they're so small, but the game made them loopy today. And the duplicate rooms really aren't helping either. As far as navigation goes, here, yeah. Patrick also getting into one now. We do see that it is a more muted shade of pinkish purple here that I actually quite like. I'd like it a bit better if it weren't for if the background was solid black, but it is nicer on his side.
Yeah, it looks more like a cranberry on Patrick's side, and it looks like you need SPF 50 to play it on traiLZ's side.
Yeah. I might call it closer to grape, maybe, but then lavender.
That's grape.
Cranberry. But yeah. It is a really bright shade of pink on traiLZ's side.
Yeah, P1 not being kind here. You have a door before the boss's room, so you have to take a death before. If you don't have enough magic, you take the death before the boss's room to get through the door, and then you need enough magic to cast Fairy again to get through the door after the boss there. So traiLZ was on his final life because of that. Not that Horsehead poses much of a problem, but if Big Picket doesn't have that many lives to waste at the end or needs that magic, he's going to have a problem.
Yeah, 3 lives is making... is hurting. That is a helpful one-up that just dropped for Patrick. Alright, traiLZ is done with the west now. He should be off to the east now. Necrocade's right over here, I think. And we'll see how bad the east looks. It had water, plenty of it, when we got a glimpse of it earlier. And I do think this is an actual island. Yeah, this is a true island. I think this is true islands. I still can't tell just yet.
traiLZ's not checking that palace that was just north of the entry point there.
I don't know.
Could be that the quick check on the edge of the screen, he actually missed it. That's entirely possible, I would imagine.
It is possible, as you see jump in Nukasudo. I mean, I guess I'm a little picked up. And, I'm still not sure. This actually might be an east-west canyon here. 6 jars for the item here. He's not gonna bother. Yeah, I'm
Doesn't
not
want
sure
the jump
yet.
spell. Wow.
Okay. And nope, this is an islands biome, and that's a raft tile. Fun.
Man, that free jump spell could have been super useful in GP. I wonder if it's going to come down to that, and we see maybe Patrick pick that up probably, and who knows if GP becomes the great equalizer as it can be. That might be interesting.
Fire here in Darunia. I mean, if traiLZ wanted to jump for GP, he would have gotten it while he was in Nukasudo. I don't know. Yeah, good thing they got those boots in the West, because they really want it. Apparently it's pretty much a given in an islands biome that you're going to need the boots sooner or later. Sometimes I can get a decent ways with ridges, but it's almost impossible to actually truly clear out an islands biome without boots. Fairy is 44 magic 5 for Patrick, and I think it's still about the same for traiLZ, looking at his magic bar. Because I know he cast Fairy to get the upstab.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he prioritizes magic 7 perhaps instead of life 7, but I'm not sure. They still have, no, he still only has 1 gem to play, so he gets to pick, but yeah, we'll have to see. Gamble on the cheap Fairy at magic 7 perhaps, but I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Skip's jump goes for fire. Yeah, well, Aaron.
Yeah, that's an interesting play for sure. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Okay, there's GP next to the Valley of Death. The Valley of Death apparently is pretty stupid to get to. And pretty stupid to navigate, so traiLZ is gonna go find the other palace here instead. I wouldn't want to go through that valley either. I can't even tell where the entrance is. It's gonna go do 6 instead here. Hopefully this isn't too sucky. Palaces 1 and 2 are very loopy. 6 is much longer and also tended towards loopiness. We'll see how this goes.
Patrick in the room where he needed to take a death anyway. That was going to be the room with the door. He actually cast Shield at the last minute. I hope he's got enough magic. He should, yeah, 48. He should have enough to cast that fairy spell to get through the door. Unless maybe he has a key in his pocket. Never mind, the door's not even there. Am I in the right room?
I'm not sure. I may have.
Yeah, that's
I've lost track myself. second.
Weird. Oh, he doesn't. He's done. Oh, he looped back around. He must have. Never mind. We totally missed him fight Horsehead. Horsehead's down. Out of P1.
Yeah,
I guess he was looking for the item.
I was like, I think that's Palace 1's bricks, not Palace 3's. Why is Patrick still in here?
He really wants the item out of here. Unfortunately, it's going to be just a P bag. This is going to be a big setback. He might have been able to make up some time by just skipping this item, but he might think maybe it's a magic container, heart container, something that you might want in this low resource seed here.
Even the ending key wouldn't be totally useless with how brutal Fairy is at the moment. They don't have that many gems left. Oh no. I mean, traiLZ is currently in P6, which is known to be one of the longest palaces. It also has got some elevator shafts to look at. What's new?
Yeah, the thing is, you're up against traiLZ, and you know that here you are, you're double dipping kind of into P1, and I mean, it's time to go. You got to be on the gas. You can't be covering your tracks over again in these palaces, unfortunately.
Yeah. Normally P1's quick to dig, but today's P1 is fairly loopy. So you're gonna get turned around a few times in here. Do we
know how much Thunder is to cast at this point?
I have absolutely no idea, to be honest.
I guess if it's...
I did not quite catch it for traiLZ. He menued way too fast. 66? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it might have been. 66 is... Yikes. They cannot cast that.
Yeah, so that might be the play that Big Picket's trying to hope for, is a magic container here in case Thunder doesn't come down in cost. But again, we know it's just a P bag and not any sort of good resource to have here.
This Doom Knocker is not a fun sight for traiLZ. Decides to use Shield and Fairy to get through it, because otherwise he probably would have died there. Almost dead as it is. Doom Knocker guarding the door.
Yeah, I think traiLZ is trying to push for Magic 7 here, maybe hoping that Thunder comes down.
I think you have to at this point, as Patrick picks up another key.
Needs a Fairy cast to get through here, or Jump that he passed up.
He wouldn't be able to cast Jump anyway, I don't think. Jump usually costs a bit more than 5 points.
Oh, Patrick skipping the key on the ground as well. That could have come in useful. That's a cast of Fairy that you could be saving.
Yeah, traiLZ just picked up a key, so he is on his last life. But having that extra key might get him through on this life.
Yeah, he better hope to find the boss soon, or not run into a door before Barba's room. Otherwise, that key
and not die for that matter, as we get another Doom Knocker. There we go.
That's it.
That is it. Yeah, traiLZ is just going to take the game over. Even if he cast Fairy, even if he could have cast Fairy, that wouldn't have gotten him far. That hurts.
It's official. Aaron may be responsible for traiLZ's defeat in this seed, as he loses time having to go back through P6 again.
Well, Patrick still needs to get through P3 before he can start looking at P6. Where is Patrick going, for that matter?
Could be one of those nights where you just lose track where everything is at, and it's just like, man, I just gotta find this palace, and I can't.
Yeah, sometimes you just think you've already done a landmark. Ooh, traiLZ taking a lava bath right by start here, I think. I would... Okay,
It's interesting that this is the room. I'm sorry, this is the room that we were talking about months ago, about the mythical jump that you can make to get through there without any spells. And then traiLZ in chat was talking about it, how you can do it, and then he showed it off a day or two later on his stream doing it. And then today it just came up again when I was doing my practice seeds. traiLZ came into my stream and we saw that room, and he's like, he talked about how to do it and things like that. I was like, yeah, I remember you doing it. And it's so funny that it came up again, and he tried to do it in the race there. Just, I don't know. I don't think he had enough magic to cast Fairy, but regardless, it's funny that the chain of events of that room coming up again, even just earlier today, and him trying that stunt. Would have been fancy to pull it off live, but unfortunately he took the lava bath. Oh,
this looks familiar. I think that's a loop.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because that crumble bridge is where he game overed there, and then with the doom locker, and then comes right back into that fairy/jump block room. That is a loop. So back to start again. All of our palaces are exceptionally loopy today. Thanks VXR for a loop-de-loop seed. Here's Reba for Patrick, which is good.
Unfortunately, unless Patrick can make it to Barba very quickly, he's very likely to cover the exact same tracks. The moment you find the east, if he just goes up a little bit up north, he's going to see the same palace that traiLZ is in. And we already know that GP is the only other accessible palace right now, unless he wants to try taking that raft tile to see where it goes. Could be Maze Island, could be Death Mountain. I don't think he checked it.
Yeah, it's either this or go try to find the entrance to what appears to be a ridiculously long Valley of Death. I would not feel like it on 3 lives.
No, that's kind of a crazy play. That's like a I've got previous knowledge of what's happening in the race here type of play.
Pretty much, because with this island's biome, that is a 1-up that's not worth it, and there is the item in 6. What are these magic jars, for that matter? They do exist. They just don't seem to be showing up.
Yeah, another dead end on traiLZ's side. They're going to pick up the 1-up, though.
I guess if you're here, we're not gonna get the experience. I was like, I don't know if the 1-up's worth it, because he would have to die to get this magic back to get the 1-up, which seems counterproductive.
So funny that Patrick is also following the footsteps of what happened with traiLZ here. traiLZ dipped into this palace first, but he also stepped out of Rebanek's room to get additional experience to try to get the extra level. And Patrick doing the exact same thing, although doing this palace third on the west.
Yeah. Alright.
I think that high cast the fairy and the expensive fairy and the expensive thunder is in the back of their minds. And so they're trying to get that next magic level in hopes that brings down the cast, the amount.
Because 45 is brutal on only 4 jars. It's basically your entire bar. And don't forget too that Thunder's not castable right now, and even Magic 6 for traiLZ. It's 66. That might not drop, for that matter. 66 might be the cheapest Thunder gets this seed.
Unfortunately,
and if that's the case, they need to. And the T-Birds require, they're going to need to find a magic jar somewhere in the seed.
Yeah, I think Patrick is also a little lost still on the west. Seeing as traiLZ did P1 last, the eastern cave, the cave to the eastern continent, is right next to P1, and he came out of P3, and I don't know exactly where he's at.
P3 is a little bit north of P1, so Patrick needs to head further back south. This ain't quite it, it's a little further south. In the meantime, Barba's finally shown up.
Yeah, traiLZ will be the first one to show his GP here in just a few minutes.
Yep. Hey Nimbus, we don't have a formal bracket, it's just TH keeps a running tally in the Discord of running record in the Discord of everything so far. And unfortunately, yeah, Patrick has gotten lost. It's easy to do in a mountainous biome, in a vanilla lake biome, or just really generally in Z2R's map rando, it's easy to lose track of it. Okay, he's heading back east, which is good. Don't go south, I don't think.
No, he needs to head straight east from where he's at. That's the case.
Okay, there. Yeah. There we are. Thank you.
No, it's further south. You're right, it is further south. That's P1 right there.
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, there's P1, yeah.
I knew it was a swamp.
We're getting lost
swamp
too.
Cave there, yeah.
Yeah, traiLZ is in the general vicinity of the Valley of Death, but I can't tell. I have no idea how you're supposed to get in it. It's one of the caves somewhere in this area, but it's dumb, is what it is. Or it might be that. I can't even tell. It's, you're not digging this, you're not digging the Valley of Death for its palace. It's either 4 or 5. It's either 4 or 5, neither of which are super appealing ideas either. Just the cross on the water tile isn't what you want to see. Like, they would really like a magic jar right now.
Yeah, Patrick going in for jump. We'll see if this makes any sort of difference come GP.
It might if there's because it can be a cheaper alternative to fairy in some rooms, and
yeah.
I did not catch what the cost of it was just then.
Difficult waffle rooms or difficult emoji rooms that you can definitely utilize jump in.
Oh, for sure. I didn't catch what the cost of jump is at Magic 5 there for Patrick. Trail's getting a 1-up. These items suck.
These are pretty disappointing. Trails has covered a good bit of ground here in terms of looking for items, but probably just shaking his head thinking, where the hell is another magic container?
Not available quickly, apparently. Death Mountain, Maze Island, P4, and P5 apparently seems to be the answer to that question, Mirai. Also, there's likely heart containers removed from the seed. We've already seen at least 4 junk items. Which isn't a maximum we could have gotten with full heart containers available, because it did start with the flute and raft. But we're starting to get near the limit of how many junk items there are in the pool naturally without removing hearts.
Yeah, this is shortage on magic containers has been something that has come back to catch me in 2 races just recently. So, I mean, it's definitely a real thing that can happen.
Oh yeah, Admus. There most likely is a magic jar behind 6 magic jars, because that's what the seed likes to do.
Naturally, yes.
And was that shield spell there for Trails?
They started with shield.
Shield, spell, thank you. I was trying to remember what spells were left, and I forgot it. We already had shield.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Trails goes back to check the spell tower then, instead of just dipping into GP.
Oh, that's what it was. I was forgetting. Life is an old Kasuda by process of elimination.
Never mind. Into GP we go.
Alright, 45-22. By the restream timer. Immediate curtain room, okay. And a Kingbot.
Here's your jump fairy usage potentially on overall magic.
Yeah, that's
very timid room too.
Yep. And a Bluebird Knight as your 3rd thing. Fun. Alright, elevator. And this fun room. This enemy set so far looks fairly reasonable. Usually not. This room itself is usually okay, it's really dependent on how the enemies are, but that's pretty easy. Got a paper clip room. Eat with the chicken knight, you know?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going through Patrick's mind here. You know, as much time as he spent in P1 trying to dig the item out, and as much time as he wandered around in the west trying to find the cave back to the east, then, you know, you gotta feel like you're behind Trails. I'm not sure why he is not in P6 at this point in time.
I'm not sure either. He will get his life spell here. Trails is heading left at this elevator, seeing 2 very similar elevator rooms here, but one has a fairy net, the other does not. This fun platforming room with these teeny platforms. And that's an upstab block. Round you go. Right round, turns right around to go left. Oh, that's fun. You go up to an upstab block, you go left to 2 chicken knights in an emoji room. Yikes. Take your pick of terrible choices.
Yeah, luckily from right to left here, they're kind of locked in to certain areas where they're pretty easy to hit, so...
Yeah, the frowny face keeping this red burn knight in a bit. There we are.
Well, there's an extra heart for Patrick.
And more chicken knights. Thankfully, these are just the red ones. But yeah, right to left's a little nicer on emojis than right left to right. Gets hit room pretty nicely for Trails. Unfortunately, he's now down to no health to go with his no magic and sees spicy chicken. that heart container really might make a difference on Patrick's side, though he needs to not game over here in the east. And that is a dead end for traiLZ. And yeah, you were ahead there, by the way, calling out the heart on Patrick like a good half minute or something.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am a lot of syncing and skipping around to the stream here for me.
Same here. I'm sure Patrick might be having some internet issues or something. I don't actually know.
Well, then I'll stay quiet about what I see right now, since I think I'm probably still ahead.
Well, Patrick just saved himself quite nicely with a good use of fairy. Gonna be disappointed by what I think was a 1-up in this cave. No, this was... And here's Darkwing in the meantime. Bit of desynchronization, and the next thing I know, oh, traiLZ on Darkling, and we're, done! GG!
GG, indeed. No thunder required. Well, they had it, but couldn't cast it, so no T-Bird required, no thunder required, and open Darklink.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Patrick seeing the dot done, and traiLZ will be joining us for an interview here in a moment. Looks like Patrick will continue. I don't know if he's actually seen P6 yet, but he needs to go there to clear it. That's the only accessible palace, really, on this east. Yeah, traiLZ finishing 49-15. GG's.
Just waiting for traiLZ to join us here.
Patrick now in 6. We'll see how long he takes to clear out this. This is the one side of the loop. And hey, there he is. GG's.
Hey, what's up? Thank you. I thought I was gonna lose that race. I couldn't believe it when I looked right. The first room on the right and Darklink was right there. Oh man. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you found a few dead ends there in GP beforehand.
Yeah, I went up that elevator and I went down the rabbit hole, and sure enough. And I was really worried I was going to need thunder, but I wasn't finding any magic containers anywhere. I picked up the spell just in case I had to leave, and then, like, you know, I'd grab jump spell and then turn that in, hopefully get a magic container or something, man. But man, it's whoa, where'd he get a heart container from?
The east.
Risen P-Bag Cave.
Oh man, so there's no magic containers anywhere.
Not not apparently in the east, at least. No, there probably some in Death Mountain or Maze Island.
That's probably
a draft tile. There might be one in 4 or 5, and there's probably one behind those 6 stars in New Kasuto because the game loves to do that.
Where was the raft at?
The raft? You started with the raft?
Oh, we started with it. Alright, yeah, I was a little concerned because I was like, man, if that's like the Maze Island, then I completely didn't even, like...
Sorry, I'm laughing at you, but yes, you started with the raft. Oh, and the flute, but that didn't matter either.
Yeah, I remember the flute. I remember starting with the flute, but the raft...
Yes, it slipped your mind, it happens.
Oh, it definitely happens. When you don't pick up the item and you start with it, it's very easy to forget that you have it.
Yeah, but yeah, just one heart. That would have been the only heart container available too, because we saw quite a few junk items in this seed.
Man, we this thing really started fast for me, man. Like as soon as I got the hint for the glove and 2, and I had the fairy spot. I don't normally, worry about, I usually take levels as they come, but this time I was trying to get magic up as much as possible so I could cast it more. But yeah, it was, this is a really stressful one, because like I knocked 1, 2, and 3 out pretty much right away. I want to say around the 20-minute mark, maybe? I don't know. I wasn't really...
It was fairly early.
You place your first gem just after 15 minutes in P3.
Oh, okay. And I know. Well, P2 was pretty quick, and P1 actually had me running around in circles a little bit.
Yeah, both of you.
P2 a little too. You were a little bit loopier than usual. They don't loop much usually because they're pretty short, but you guys got looped around there.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised because P1's like the smallest one, and getting spun around in a circle like that in P1 isn't usually you know what I mean? I up and A'd and saw the path the horse had, and it was just hold left. If you went up that elevator, you found the Worthless P bag and like 10 rooms that looped into each other. It was really confusing. It
was. I think P2 was interesting too, because like it's usually also pretty short. You ran in a straight line for like a good 6 rooms ish, and then you had like 6 different paths to take off one big elevator shaft, like 4 of which were loops. That was fun.
Yeah, at least some of them, they were short loops. You'd go through a room and either pop out right on the other side, or you'd be back in that same room, 1 or 2 rooms over, so that was easy to figure out. But
yeah.
Man, this could have easily gone very south.
Yo, for sure. I was a little concerned when you saw the upstab block there.
I had upstab.
I know, it's just like with parry being 44 magic points there, it adds up having to cast fairy and whatnot to get through boxes.
No, you don't need fairy to go through there. You can do it without. You don't need jump or fairy. Yeah, you can do it without jump. Yeah, I had upstab. I went and got upstab.
And I think it would just be standard rating, but it's like, okay, that's interesting. Patrick did end up getting upstab to the jump spell. We were a little curious why you didn't.
Because it was such a long walk, and I figured if I want to make that walk, I want to make sure that I have the spell first, so I can get the item back there. Because I was the thought of thunder not being able to be casted, I was like 3 magic points or 4 magic points shy of being able to cast it. I think it was 68.
66.
And it's 66. Man, that's even worse.
It is. It's like just not enough. If it had been required, you guys would have had to go dig it out of I don't even know where.
Dude, if Patrick just holds right here, his GP will be 10 minutes faster than mine. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Probably a good 5 minutes. I don't know, I went up and I don't think I took a game over. Did I?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. You up and A'd though, because you found a second dead end. You found the curtain room dead end with the fairy at the end of it, and that's when you up and A'd.
Yeah, that's what it was. I saw that room and I'm like, man. There was a few other paths I could have gone. There was the upstab room, and then there was this hold right here. And man, if he entered GP a minute or two after me and just held right, I was in big trouble. That would have lost the race. All because I didn't hold right, and that's why I say these days. Well, these days it's a lot more like the palace layouts are completely different, dude. But I would disagree with somebody if they would say luck was involved. I don't know, because I was really cocky back then. But like, dude, luck has a very big factor in this game.
Oh yeah,
It always does in rando, but sometimes the randomizer just does randomizer things.
Yeah, and I mean, that's no play on my skill or anybody else's skill. That's just it is kind of what it is, you know. Like, I got lucky tonight because I went right, you know. Eventually.
I mean, that's a testament to any new runners as well, and you know, veteran runners, yourself. You know, I'm getting up there as well, but you know, anyone can lose kind of to anyone if the situation is right. You know, you can have 1,000 Cs under your belt or more and still lose to someone who's played 20, 30, 40 times or something just because the settings end up, you know, something is wide open or you go the wrong way and they happen to just go the right way. And it's just, you know, you can never just kind of, you should never be too lazy when you play, no matter who your opponent is. You should always definitely be playing to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But, man, it feels really bad when you do that much GP and then you look one room over and there it is, and it's like, oh my god, dude, I could have easily lost this race.
Oh yeah. One thing I think what I'm gonna run to you is I think the big thing that set Patrick back early-ish was that he took a game over in Medicine Cave.
Oh yeah. What was that?
Like,
that was the boots, wasn't it, or?
That was the actual medicine in it. He had to backtrack for it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was the medicine. I think it was in the vanilla medicine cave.
No, you're right, and that was what blocked Thunder.
Yeah, so he had to backtrack for that. He ended up looking more in palaces for presumed hearts and magic containers, and due to having to come back and forth a bit, got utterly lost in the west for a bit as well. Completely lost track of both the cave to the east and P3 at one point.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I think P3 was all the way up at the top, right next to it was right next to Mito, and I remember when I got Thunder, the hint for the glove, and I got the fairy spell, I said, you know, P3 is right here, I'm just gonna do it. Why not?
Oh yeah.
Why go all the way back to the beginning to you know, do Palace 2 and get the glove if I can just come back and do that, because that was right by the start.
Patrick took a different route from you. He's doing everything that's not Darkling, and in fact just found Teeper. Turned right around because he still can't cast Thunder.
Yeah, she went the upstab route. It's this upstab route.
Is it? Nice.
Yeah, there were two of them. They seemed like they were back to back.
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
You talking about Palace Order in the beginning?
Yeah. So like when I'm ready to go, I know I was taking a risk that, you know, possibly there could be a glove block in there, and you know that would suck. But if there wasn't, that'd be one last thing I'd have to do quicker. You know.
Yeah, you did 1, 2. You did 3, 2, 1, and Patrick did 2, 1, 3. When you were done with 1, the cave to the east was just really within your viewing. From P1, you just had to head directly south, and you were directly on the east at that point. Where when he came out of 3, he just didn't remember where that cave was. He like literally just recombed over the west and was just looking for that cave to the east. So he took a good few minutes trying to re-find that. But he was already a little bit behind at that point, and it probably would have taken kind of a big mistake on your side for him to catch up. Or, as you point out, that GP being kind of free right there, you know, that could have been the deciding factor as well. But up to GP, you had the lead for a good part of that. You know, of course, assuming Thunder wasn't required, and of course it not being required.
Yeah, you gotta keep track of your caves and your connectors, man. You gotta know where they are, because you know something like this, That's why I did P1 last, because the exit was right there to the east, you know?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Patrick
it's easy
left
to forget.
P3 and headed straight west, and basically headed west and west and south and back east, so just like looped around like the entire northern half of the west looking for his looking for that connector to the east.
Oh, I've done that before, definitely. I think he just hit a loop.
I think he did. He's somewhere past.
He's about to come back up on Thunderbird.
Yeah, he is. Just getting the loop, good old loop-de-loop at the moment.
He's probably. Oh, does anybody know what fire was linked to? Was that reflect?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. I figured.
You cast reflect on the Doom Knocker to block the flying maces, and that's when we confirmed it on our side. You must have just not noticed it at that point.
Yeah, I was in race mode.
Yeah, it's you just totally tunnel vision on things. I know that feeling for sure.
I mean, the only time I ever got lost was in P6 and in GP. In GP, I was very aware of where I was. I just went the wrong direction, that's all. I never really was lost. Ever. I don't think in the seed once. But, whatchamacallit, yeah, you just kind of hold left here, you do the branch, and then you hit a dead end, and you go, well, let's take a different path.
Yeah.
And hope that GP, Thunderbird is not required. And, whatchamacallit, that was the thing. If Thunderbird was required, I would have had to leave and go get a magic container, but I kind of figured that, Patrick probably would have done the same thing. He would have probably came in there without thunder, or castable thunder, and looked for Dark Link, and if he couldn't find him, to go and dig out a magic container.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of opportunity for deviation, and especially with 1, 2, and 3 on the west, it would be kind of odd that someone wouldn't dig those 3 palaces, seeing as they're pretty simple, and knowing that the glove was in P2, you both had that hint. So you could figure that people would just clear all of the west, and then, of course, the first palace you saw when you entered into the east was P6. Then you saw GP, and it was like, well, do I want to go into Death Valley to check for something else? Probably not. You've already seen 1 and 3. What could it be? 4 or 5? Do you want to choose 4 or 5 over 6 if it's in Death Valley? I don't know. That's a huge gamble, and it's you was just kind of assumed that he's also going to dig 6 as well, and he did. He just pretty much followed in your footsteps. The only thing he didn't find, I guess, was Water Tile Cross, and he found the heart container for in the Risen P-Bag Cave, whereas you didn't hit that at the time.
He's probably thinking, "Damn, all I had to do was hold right." That's exactly how I felt. Like, man.
It almost makes you wonder if it's time to start, like if the new strategy in these palaces for GP is to check the right and then come back, check the elevator and then come back down and check the right to just make sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. GG's to Patrick, man.
Yeah, let's see if he wants to do an interview here. Oh, nope. He's going to decline the interview. He was not happy with his performance on that one.
Yeah, I don't blame him. This ended up being a bit of a train wreck for him. Was discussed at GG's. Sometimes the seed just doesn't go your way, and that's pretty much what happened to Patrick today. Is it just wasn't his day.
Well, if we're being honest here, it was a train wreck for myself as well. I didn't really like my performance in P6, and I don't know. I got wrecked by P6 basically. So I feel your pain, Patrick. Plus, I did the whole GP loop like you did. So, and then did the facepalm probably exactly like you did when you found Dark Link. But yeah, I don't know. So we got any more races on for tonight? What's going on, guys?
The weekly race is in about an hour.
I got a Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament match tonight at 10:30, or else I may have joined. I don't know. I'm gonna get wrecked by one of the best.
Who are you up against?
His name's TA909.
Good luck on that, then.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need better luck than I had tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But, alright, I guess you guys have a good night. Thank you for the commentary, and I'll see you guys during the next race.
Thanks, traiLZ. GG's,
All right.
and good luck next round.
Thank you.
Alright. Alright, make sure to give our runners a follow. Thank you to Star and Mirai for doing commentary, and thank you to Animus and BT Slacker for tracking. So we do have the weekly tonight on this channel in about 15 minutes. Tomorrow we've got a couple more Max Rando races, one at 8 p.m. Eastern and one at 10 p.m. Eastern, as well as an OTR Season 5 match at 4:50 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, until next time, have a good night.
See you, everyone.